right. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Dad at Arms channel. I'm your host, Colt, the Dad at Arms, and joining me today is my friend, Barry Eldridge of Factory Entertainment.
Yay.
How's it going, Barry?
How you doing, Colt? It's been
I'm
a
good.
while.
Yeah, it's always fun talking to you. I've got, I've got the previous staff that you guys made, the Skeletor Havoc staff on this side of me. I've got the He-Man sword on this side of me. I love your stuff. You do good
We
work. So I'm always
were.
I'm always happy. And
It's been a
and you're a
dream.
fellow sword nerd like me. So it's always fun talking.
Yeah. Well, but my inner 10-year-old still can't believe that he's like getting to make these things that I saw as a kid and was like, I want to make that sword, and then do them as real swords, because we do real like heavy cutlery swords, and we do other versions. But to get to do them for MOTU is, yeah, it's still like, wow. That
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
never change. And then when we got wind, let me think, how long ago was it now? Is it 3 years ago, 2 years ago, when they mentioned the movie and they're like, do
Hmm.
you guys want to do, and we're like, oh, and you have to, because it's a business, I'm supposed to be professional and I have to pretend, you have to put your business face on, but
Right,
inside
right.
you're going, oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So we have kind of seen, Mattel revealed, uh, earlier they showed some things that your company is doing, that Factory Entertainment is
Yeah,
doing.
yeah, hmm,
Do you
yeah,
kind of want to tell us what those items are and give us some
yeah,
details
yeah.
about those?
So we can talk about them. Today is the marketing day. We can talk about it. Nothing can go up for sale until later in April. It'll be around
Okay.
April 25th. That's the embargo day, so nothing will be available till April 25th, guys. Sorry, but that's the day. Um, Over the coming weeks, we will be teasing each of the products on our social media and our site. But there are essentially two product lines. They're both prop replicas. One are the stunt prop replicas, and this is one of our previous ones. This is Sword of Protection, Shira, and they look like metal, but they're stunt replicas. So they replicate what you would see on a film set. They typically have, on a film set, a hero prop, which is usually looks like, functions like, if it, and we'll talk maybe about the MOTU one in a minute. Typically, then they are exactly what you think you're looking at. So if it looks like metal, it's usually metal or something like that. And then for other scenes, they have stunt versions, because it's not safe to be swinging around a piece of metal, or
Right.
if an actor has to run with a prop, or jump over a wall, or if it's an expensive prop too, they won't let them do that with a complicated, expensive prop, because it only takes one slip and someone can get hurt. So on film sets, they typically have, specifically for weapons, dense polyurethane foam. So that's what these are made from. So they look hard, but they have
Okay.
some flexibility to them. We put a carbon fiber reinforcing panel inside, so they can still, you can't bend it, but things like the tip are
Okay.
safe. So if you happen to run, and you're not going to take your eye out with this, and that's what these are. The stunt replicas. But the nicest thing, and the reason that we kind of make them, is they're cosplay friendly.
Yeah.
Most conventions should accept these, because you can't walk into a convention. You've got our metal swords. A, they're heavy,
Right.
and B, wouldn't be a smart, sensible thing to do. But these are great for cosplay. You should be able to get these, and we live action role play is an interesting term, but yeah, you can have some fun with these. You
Nice.
can do a bit of live action role play. Don't fight with them, people, because that would be dangerous and you might hurt yourself. But live action role play is
And
okay.
now with
there,
with
there are
these
three of
ones,
those. So
okay, so you're
from the
doing three of
MOTU
those.
movie, we will have the Sword of Power.
Hmm.
We will have Teela's sword, because Teela finally gets some cooler weapons and accessories and things, a bit more practical than the cartoon snake staff. Although snake staff's pretty cool, but the sword,
Yeah.
she's got her own special sword, which I unfortunately don't have with me. These things they're literally in the universe at the moment. There's only like two of them, and one of them's at
Okay.
Mattel and one of them's elsewhere. But they will be here very, very soon. And the plan is to deliver all of this product. When it goes up for pre-order, it will specify the availability, but we want, pending whatever's going on in the world, and I do have to put that in as a caveat right now because we live in interesting times. We are aiming to have every single product delivered in our warehouse in California before the movie comes out. So you will be able to get it, and in many cases, hopefully even take it to the movie theater and
wave it around.
Go up as well. Also, you'll have cool. I mean, they got some really cool stuff for the movie theater. Have you seen some of the popcorn buckets and the?
I haven't seen any popcorn buckets
drink
yet.
container.
I've seen the drink.
Popcorn.
Yeah.
That one's
fun.
The product engineer in me is like, touche.
Yeah, that one was fun.
Those are the stunt replicas. They'll be the ones that will be released first. And yeah, they fill a hole in the line. The Man-at-Arms mace is the third one. Idris Elba's character, and people will see in the movie that mace has got some really cool features and use. It's important.
Nice. I'm excited. It looks like in the movie, based on the last trailer, it looks like there's a shot where his mace kind of has a transforming effect to it, where it kind of
maybe
slides out, and some mechanics going on.
It's kind of nifty, but
cool.
People will see. We can't, unfortunately, it's impossible to replicate in reality.
Right.
It's one of those beautiful things, and you, when doing what I do, I'm often really lucky to see early stuff before a movie comes out, and there's always this point where you look at it and go, that's cool, but it's going to be impossible to make. We call it the TARDIS effect, where it's, the police box is this big on the outside, but on the inside, and it's physically impossible to ever replicate that. And this is something very similar. He has, let's say it definitely has a transforming feature that allows it to be carried, because one of the things that I think most of us as fans really love is the production team and Mattel have really stuck pretty closely to our childhood dream, and everybody remembers that accessory on that figure is a big thing. It's huge. And not the easiest thing to carry. When you think about it in I don't know, military hardware terms, not the most practical thing to carry around on your hip all times. So they've thought through that, and they've kept the fans happy by its end look, but they've also thought about the practicality of the in-universe experience.
Yeah,
but
that's
reality
awesome.
Be damned. Forget reality.
Well, very cool. So we've got the three foam weapons: Power Sword, Tila Sword, the Man-at-Arms mace.
Man-at-Arms mace. Initially, obviously we're really excited about the movie. It's hopefully, and I don't know anything. This is me as a fan speculating. We hope it's the beginning of a franchise. We hope this thing has legs, and there'll be sequels and spin-offs, and if people want. If you've seen the trailer of now, we're on the second trailer. There are three. There's a teaser trailer, the first trailer, and the newest trailer. There is no shortage of cool stuff to make.
A lot of cool stuff.
Everybody's got a key weapon or an accessory, and trust me, there's a whole bunch you haven't seen yet, which are even cooler. So the potential for this is huge, but we wanted to get out early. We wanted to have stuff for the movie launch, and that requires a certain degree of commitment, because you just never know nowadays. You never know whether a movie is going to just hit it with people or not. It really does depend on what's going on in the world. So we've kept things sensible, but we've tried to hit all the right key moments. And He-Man is obviously the key character, and Sword of Power is the key one. Tila's sword is cool. I wish I had it. People will see it. I think the pictures have been released. And the Man-at-Arms mace, and then obviously there's a whole bunch of heroic warriors, and there is a whole bunch of not so heroic friends of Skeletor, and some in-betweeny type people too. Some on the fence guys.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the plan so far. And then the big daddy of them all is, people know us, I think, certainly in the MOTU world, for our prop replica we did of the Power Sword.
Yes.
And getting to do the Sword of Power again as a replica is something else. And yeah, we will have the Big Daddy, and he is absolutely a Big Daddy. This thing is 7.8 pounds.
Wow.
It is heavy, and yeah, can't wait to reveal more details on this. But give you a quick preview here. You can see he's a beauty, and I
It's
can barely
beautiful.
hold the thing. And we were really lucky, given direct access to the assets to produce the original prop.
Hmm.
You cannot get better than that. And thankfully, the armorers of Eternia were with us. This was manufacturable in real life. It is made exactly how we haven't. People will remember, and we talked about this on the show. We had to make some technical changes to the original power sword that we did to allow
Hmm.
molding a blade and a handle. This one, not so much.
Very
No
cool.
change. It's absolutely identical, and it's bigger and heavier. I was really shocked. There is no metal sword in the film. That sword you see is actually it was displayed at Comic-Con,
Hmm.
and looks like metal, but it's not. It's a really clever. It's a foam core with a hard or semi-hard metallic coating over the top, um, which makes it usable, and relatively safe. I wouldn't want to get hit with it, but
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody did. But it's not metal, so yeah, this will be the first time getting a, if it was a real sword made in the real world, this
Yeah.
is how it would be made,
Very
and
cool.
all forged in one solid piece this time.
Okay.
Completely solid. Real tough.
That is cool.
And it's a big one too. I can't even get it on camera. It's a big sword, big and heavy. And that one's going to be, yeah, that's our baby for this summer, I think.
That's
It's a
exciting.
cool sword, and I love when I first I got over the initial excitement of being permitted to do it. I
Hmm.
love how they kept it pure to the spirit, but they changed it just enough.
Yeah.
It's got so many redolent looks to it. It's partly filmation, animation. It's partly, there's a whole bunch of little nods in there, and the more time you spend looking at it, you're like, wow, it's a very simple yet very elegant design. It's
That's
very
cool.
clever.
And I think, speaking about the power sword itself, I think that's why it's one of my favorite, pop culture weapons.
Yeah,
If not the favorite, it probably is my favorite. Uh, because it's just such a simple, iconic design that I don't know, it looks so unique. And I've always just loved the look of He-Man's power sword.
it's very,
Way
yeah.
back with the
You
toys and the cartoon, and
you hit the nail on the head. I mean, we kind of grew up with it, so to us, it's iconic, but it was very unique. The closest thing I could guess you would say to it in the 80s was the barbarian sword in Conan with
right.
the but it predates that by what, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So there is nothing. I'm somebody's going to call me out on this, and by all means, please do. But I can't think of another sword in a similar um, hefty design. All previous swords that I remembered seeing in certainly in fantasy and kids were medieval esque. This is very
Yeah.
different, very
Yeah.
very different. It doesn't really harken back to anything. I suppose it's got an element of Viking, the thickness of the blade.
Hmm.
I mean, trying to, we're sword guys, and we'll let a little secret here when the movie comes out. It's sword stuff and nerd things. You'll know
Yes.
what I mean. You'll know what I mean in a few months' time. But we're sword guys, and you'd think it wouldn't be wieldable. Is that even a word? But it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. I wouldn't have want to been a medieval warrior on a battlefield with it, because I think my arm would have been very tired. But it is fascinating from a design point of view. And Guy Hendricks Dias, who was the production designer on the MOTU movie, did this sword, and he did a
Okay.
bang up job. I think.
Very cool.
I haven't found anybody who dislikes it yet. They're
Yeah.
all
I
like,
think it looks gorgeous.
because it could have been it could. I mean, so many times you see this in movies, and then now we've redesigned this, and you all go, ugh.
Well, even even with Masters of the Universe, we've seen the sword redesigned where it didn't quite work out as well.
Yeah,
With the
yeah, yeah,
where it just
yeah.
kind of, huh, that's a choice.
Well, I think that one you can see where they're going. That was like Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah,
and
and a product of its time. I think there's the famous story about how when it was originally designed for the cartoon, the story was is that Skeletor had obtained both halves of the power sword,
yeah,
and so Man at Arms built a new mechanical sword for He-Man to channel the power with,
hmm
and eventually it was going to be, the narrative was going to be that He-Man would reclaim the actual sword at some point,
yeah,
but
yeah,
kids wanted big bulky anime swords at the time. Yeah, going back to like Kingdom Hearts and
yeah.
Final Fantasy stuff, and
You can see where the flavor comes in, and you can
yeah,
and things have to evolve. That's the thing that I really like about where we're seeing MOTU go. It's staying rooted in its heritage, but it's moving forward to a new audience. Because us guys, we'd go and watch it if it was. Sorry about that. Us guys, we would go and watch the movie if it was, if it was a guy reading a shopping list. If as
oh
long as
sure,
we don't care. But we need to bring in, your kids, my kids,
yeah,
the new people, the audience. We need to bring, significant others and partners to be going along with it. It needs
hmm
to be an event like it was back in the day. It was our Saturday morning. It was our thing that we talked about in the playground. It was the, oh, look, I picked up this. Look what Clawful does. Look what Trapjaw does. Look
yeah,
what
yeah,
that, and oh, damn it, I don't have that one. I want, how many times, who ran around, to their friend's house to go and sniff the Mossman figure, right? Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
look
I
back and
mean,
you're like, that was weird, but we all did
yeah,
it.
yeah, and so I like that you bring that up because it has to evolve. It has to bring in new fans if it's going to survive beyond us, because I'm sure people have noticed, but we're getting older and we're not going to be around forever. And
Yeah,
if
yeah.
there's no new
I
fans
don't have the
to
power anymore. I just have the
exactly,
power-ish.
exactly. So
It's a march of time, I guess. But yeah, I hope that it does that, and it looks like it will, and it looks like it will. And I get the arguments from the purists who are like, but it's not my He-Man, and it's like, well, yeah, but it can't. Things, they can't stay the same. They have to move
yeah,
forward.
there's got to
And
be
that's
some
what I
give
love
somewhere.
about the designs, and yeah, it's great when it's done. You can tell that the people behind this movie really get the property, and they're not
Hmm
just making a movie because they need to. They all get it, and you can see, I mean, just how many teasers and little gifts and gimmicks are buried in the trailer every time
Yeah,
one comes out. Yeah, and that's
yeah,
not
it's
even
fun.
the start of it. There's so much more.
Not even the tip of the power sword.
No, oh, good one. Good one.
um, so going back to these products that you guys are making, I
Yeah.
know in the past, and I'm not sure if you can answer this. If not, that's okay. Um, in the past, when the the materials like shipped with the sword, like the sword came in a really cool box,
Mhm.
and it came with some really cool art that went along with it. I've got an example here. Let me throw it up real quick.
Yeah, that's
So there,
all
yeah,
that. All that art was done by a really talented artist called Jeremy Sniatecki,
yes,
and he did. There's a fourth one. We did the MOTU mace as well. We did do a toy version of the
okay,
mace made
that's right.
of solid metal. That's the fourth in the line of the classic or toy. These were designed to be replicas of the toy
Hmm
accessory, and we haven't stopped there. Once this movie gets beyond, we will look at other things. There's lots of other things in the universe, so it will be similar. You'll see when it comes up for pre-order. It's not the same art. We're moving. The movie has its own look and it has its
Yeah.
own thing. I would describe the stuff that's going to come with it as more. We just talked about the in jokes and the trailers. There's
hmm
there's a lot of Eternian script humor,
Okay.
buried homages and things, and we were given a great set of tools by the production team. They had a fantastic style guide for this, and there's some really nice, cool imagery that people will see. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
You're going to see similar, but that has to
Cool.
be a little secret for another time.
Right.
But people
Well, that's
will
good to
see.
hear.
Yeah. The stunt replicas come just on header cards. They don't have any accessories, and they are what we call open-ended, so we make them as needed. The power sword will be very, very, very limited. 500
Okay.
pieces. That's it.
500 pieces.
Worldwide. To try and keep it. It's a really difficult sword to make. That's why only 500 pieces. And let's see once the movie comes out what other opportunities there are.
Okay.
Lots of other things.
Very cool. And so, just briefly, aside from the movie, I know you've made these foam the cosplay weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I think the latest ones you came out with in terms of Masters of the Universe were the battle axes.
Yeah, got the big battle axe.
Yeah.
It's a personal favorite.
That's very cool.
This one's great. And then the reinforcement runs up the center here. So the center is rigid, but the blades are...
Okay.
So
nice.
You can decapitate yourself, but you can also wear it on your back. And get around. So this one's a personal fave, this one. So yeah,
very
battle
cool.
axe, She-Ra's sword, and then some non-MOTU stuff. Thundercat, Sword of Omens, and a whole bunch of others. Our stunt replica range is filling out quite nicely, and people will see more. There's some other... We're going to have some fun, exciting releases at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Come by the booth and see that.
Very cool.
Lots of things.
Cool. Well, I think that's about all we could probably talk about right now without...
Yeah, right now, yeah. But it won't be long before we can talk about more. It'll be... The wait will be worth it, I think. I hope.
Awesome.
Hope people love what they see, and as always, give us feedback. We do listen. We do try to be... We are fans. We're not just guys doing this because, it's not making us rich. We're doing it for the love of it because we're fans. But we do listen. We do scour. I lurk in a lot of places and watch things. So yeah, and if people want to tell us stuff, please tell us. Let us know what you like and let us know what you don't like, so we can improve things for the future and get things better if we can.
Very cool.
This is a licensed product. That's what I do. This is Mattel's baby, and they let us play with their baby, which is a huge privilege, but it is theirs, and we have to do what they say. And so sometimes the answer to questions that fans find frustrating is an unfortunate no, but it's because there's usually a reason why, and usually a very boring, like complex, silly reason, but but yeah, please let us know what, and if there's stuff people want to see, please tell us, because we do try to listen. And this one was one when we first brought the line out, everybody wanted a replica axe, and making this out of metal, although it would have been really fun. Would have been oh yeah, man. A little difficult, and also there's the safety aspect of this.
Yes.
We do have to concern ourselves with that, unfortunately, in these litigious times. Sometimes you come at things from the side, or you come at them from a different angle, and you try and achieve a similar result.
Well, cool.
My dream is to walk into a to a convention or a movie theater and see a whole bunch of people tooled up, for want of a better word, with all of these things. It's a challenge over to you guys now. Exactly. The cosplay for
show up with your weapons.
Epic. I mean, already I've seen some of the people who are doing, the commitment to full Prince, well, actually not Prince Adam, He-Man. They're going to walk around conventions in a furry loincloth, and they've been hitting the iron for a few months. I won't be doing that, but and some amazing Teela costumes, and She-Ra, man, I saw yesterday a fantastic She-Ra costume with a full crown, and the talent and the skill of the fans for that is, can't wait. I want to see the first guy who manages to pull off a mounted battle cat. That's what I want to
Ooh, that'd be cool.
see.
How they would do that,
Somebody will
yeah.
do it. Somebody will do it.
Yeah. Real quickly before I let you go,
Yeah.
I was just curious, in terms of things that you would like to make, or maybe, I don't know, have you ever considered or thought or gotten to a planning stage of actually making the 2000 era sword that we were talking about earlier? The He-Man sword?
We have that one on our list. We have a couple of others. There is another famous movie sword. That one's on the list. If we the next sword we do, I want it to be a cartoon sword,
Okay.
animated. Um, that's a challenge. That has some real world challenges. Joining round balls to flat metal. It's
Yes.
not the easiest. It's not impossible, but it's not the easiest. Um, and then you kind of have that whole thing where you're achieving somebody else's dream. You know, they know it as a two-dimensional thing. They've seen it a million times. They know it
Yeah.
intimately, and you've got to get it right. But you can't make everybody happy.
Right.
It can be the perfect copy, and somebody will still say, "Ah, but it's wrong." You know, but these two planes join. Well, because two-dimension is great, but then when you try and make it into three dimensions, just simple practical concerns, and it has to be strong. It's a consumer product. We make 500 of these, so it has to be toolable. I mean, you should see the tools for the power sword. They're like, I mean, they're like the 2 times the engine block of a car, and they
Wow.
weigh. It's a serious piece of steel. They do them. This one is done by molten high pressure injection, so they're actually, you know, that opening sequence of the Conan movie where we saw the father.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the actual real version of that. The machinery that they do it with is amazing. These are the people that make, in their day job, they make high end cutlery and they make surgical tools. This is what they do for a living, and then we come along and say, "Can you make a sword?" And they go, "Hmm." Yeah. Because believe it or not, there aren't that many manufacturers of swords out there anymore. And let me caveat that there are a whole bunch of very talented blacksmiths making individual swords and weapons,
Right.
but they can't make 500 of them.
Right. On that large
That's
scale.
a whole other thing.
Well,
Different
very
skill
cool.
set. They get very, very tired. The right arm gets very tired after the 50th sword. You get one huge arm and one tiny withered arm.
Well, that sounds great. I'm excited to see, when we can, when you can get in full swing of being able
I'll be back.
to,
You know where I am.
yeah,
Let's do it, and
yep,
let's
we'll do it
sit
again.
here and talk about the movie when it finally comes out and what we.
Yes.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. I can't wait.
One of those reaction reviews.
We'll watch the movie, and then I'll ask you. We'll go through a list of every single weapon I see in the movie and ask you which one you're gonna make.
Done. Done.
I love
I'm
it.
down for that. I'm down for that. Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me today, Barry.
Pleasure. Thanks everybody for watching. You guys make
Yeah,
what we do possible. Couldn't do it without you. Seriously, I know everybody says that, but I mean it. It's real. Without the
that's awesome.
fans, we're nothing.
And I will say, to anybody watching this who would consider picking up one of these weapons that Factory Entertainment makes, they are very high quality and they're very impressive. I can't recommend them enough.
Thank you.
I grew up loving swords. As a teenager, I built my own swords out of pieces of scrap iron laying around, and it's just always something that I've been super into. Studying the history of swords and all that kind of stuff, and
I was
it's one
so
it's
glad
one of
when we
my
first met and I found
yeah.
out I wasn't the only one. Like, there are more of us out there, and we're the ones
Exactly.
whose parents just went.
I can't tell you how many like reference size books that I have on my bookshelf that are just about swords or knives or
I probably got the same
I love it.
library, and what I can't believe I haven't had tetanus more times. You know, how
I
many
know,
times did
right?
you get right? Yeah,
Yeah,
we.
I've
How many
got
more of you are that kid out there, folks? Who was the
yeah,
one who tried to, go in their parents' workshop or garage and build
yep,
a pole
yeah.
axe?
I showed them to you on a previous interview we did where I
You
showed you some of
did,
the
yeah.
homemade weapons we made, and Yeah,
Well,
me and my
you grew up
brother.
on a farm. You were lucky. You
Oh
had
yeah,
kind of like
we had
implements,
access to, yeah, we could weld things. We knew how to do all that. So we went to town. We made, and we didn't even make swords. We made like, well, we did make swords, but we would just take chunks of metal and weld them together and call it a weapon, and it would look like a weird Morning
Don't do
Star
that,
battle
kids. Don't do
axe.
that, kids.
Yeah,
It's not
don't
safe.
do that.
But it's
I
fun.
still
But
have
it's fun.
scars
But
all
it's
over my
not safe.
hands,
We don't recommend it.
but it's
Translation:
fun.
please don't sue us. But hey, we do actually love to see stuff like that. That's talent. That's art. That teaches all sorts of things. And there's
Mhm.
so many clever people out there who do stuff like that. But the guys who are bootlegging, that's a different matter entirely. You know, and that's that takes money out of me, my pocket. It's how I feed my family. It's how I pay
Yep.
my mortgage. But it also takes money out of and I this is going to come across as, but the brands that we love, the people who own them do not support them if they just become this thing that's just riddled with guys selling. And I know a lot of the time it's done with their hearts in the right place.
Right.
They're not trying to rip anyone off. But if you are making someone else's product and selling it without their permission, there's a word for it. It's not good. So yeah, everybody, homemade stuff, artistic stuff, great. But anyone who's out there trying to, and there are plenty of them out there. Think before you support them, because remember what you're doing at the end of the day damages the brand that you love. Because
Right.
most of the time, or all of the time, it's a business. Unfortunately, these brands are owned by big multinationals. There are important share values and things on the line, and yeah, every time you take a little bit from that, it chips away at their strength and their desire, frankly. Because sometimes we've run into this with other brands. We've approached them and said we'd love to do this, and they've just said, can't be bothered, it's too difficult. It's a quagmire of people selling on Etsy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it does have an effect, believe it or not. It does.
Yeah.
Less lecture over, sorry.
um, where can people find you,
They can
if
find us
you want
at,
to be found?
yeah. Oh, we want to be found. You can find us at factoryent.com, or just Google Factory Entertainment, and you can find our stuff at a fine host of amazing retailers and third parties: Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, and a huge. I'm just naming two. There are many, and worldwide too. We have brilliant retail partners out there, and if I'm forgetting your names, it would take me all day to list you all. You're all part of the team, and yeah, look for the stuff and find it, and look for officially licensed, and look for the logos, and you're good.
Definitely. Well, very cool. Well, thanks for sitting down with me today, and I can't
My
wait to talk
pleasure.
to you in the future. We'll have lots
I'll
to
be
talk about.
back.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will catch up with you next time. See ya.
Bye.